just can't. There's certain things in the Bible that I absolutely love, and I'll read the same ones over, because I love them. But I can't sit and read it very well. I have to have an interest in order to focus on it. Does that make sense?
When I read it,
And
it's kind of like reading The Lord of the Rings for me. You know?
there's different kinds of Bibles. Who's written them? How do you know? There's Bibles out there that are completely different.
Yep.
But I do pray. I pray. Excuse me. I pray a lot.
Me too.
I just pray something. There's this guy in town, and he's on the city council, but his mother has dementia, and she has to have 24-hour care. Him and his wife take in all these young people anywhere from age 15 to 30, 40, I don't know. They all either have a handicap, or maybe they're autistic, maybe, I don't know for sure. But they take them and do these sporting things with them. They're just so helpful with people with needs. Well, this guy's name is Bill Holly, and I just have a lot of respect for him, and I don't know him that well. I know his wife better than him, but what I'm trying to say is I'd like to talk to him about you, and I would like to see what his suggestion, if he's got any kind of threads he can pull, any kind of anything, and come up with something. Because I hear things all the time, and it's like Bill Holly's always helping, and the one thing that you're not gonna like, and I don't know how else to say it, but he's a suicide advocate. He's somebody that when somebody is thinking of suicide, that he helps with people like that. And I don't know anything more about it. The only thing that breaks my heart is I had a really close friend commit suicide in high school, and it just devastated me, and I have a hard time with it.
I'm pro
So I'm not a
suicide.
good person.
I'm pro suicide for a reason, though. There are some people
I
who
know.
aren't human beings to this society. I've had a lot of my friends commit suicide too. A lot of them, people, do a complete 180-degree after somebody kills themselves. When they're still alive, they're like, you just want attention, you just want attention, you just want attention. And every time I hear that, most of the people
No,
that I
you're
know,
reaching for help, I think, Sean.
I have been, I'm honest about that. I've been begging for help. But if I can't get that help, I do need my life to end because that torture, it's unbearable, ma'am.
No, down in Cheyenne, I'm just trying to think of ways. I know of people, friends, that, one of my friends, Madeline, she was homeless for a whole year, and somehow she got out of, her situation, and she's really not able to work. She does work part-time, but she does get help. And but she turned to a couple of churches and they were able to help. They gave her some money for food. They gave her I don't know. I
People are a
don't know
lot
all the
more
ins and
likely to help
outs. I
women.
just know, huh?
People are a lot more likely to help women. There are over 1,000 places, over 1,000 battered women places for every one that's for battered men.
Whoa.
1,000 to 1.
I just don't. I mean, if you're a man or a woman and you need help, you need help. Period. You know what I mean? But I agree. They have a lot more things for women than they do for men because
Men and women, if they have the same reaction to the same thing, women are more likely to get help. Men are told that they just need to man up.
well, not necessarily though. There's, I know the one guy that he's on. They have like a Special Olympics for I don't know if they're high schoolers or college or 30s or 40s. I don't know. I know one man is in his 40s, and I know that he's autistic. I don't know if he has Asperger's. I don't know any of that.
Well,
But I do know that the Hollies helped him, and he now has a place to live.
he
And
probably
and
doesn't
he
have warrants
does
out for him.
volunteer. He helps some people with their gardening. Which I know you have a bad back, you can't do that, but he does. He just tries to do some helpful things for people around town, and everybody likes him.
You know what
You try
I
to help them.
you know what I did before I hurt my back?
What?
I worked at a place called Stone Lighting, and I passed out blankets. I helped out homeless people. I walked them to the warming centers, and
Wow.
I rescued battered women, and I rescued their children. That's who I was. That's what I did before all of this. My friend Janine, she passed away too. I was begging her to help. She's dead now. It was bad enough when they were dying, but now not being able to see any of them and knowing that I'll never get to see them again, I'll just get to hear that they died. So I don't get the positivity of having them in person, but I get the sadness of knowing that they're dead.
And they say once people are dead that they are in a way better place. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure not existing would be better than this life.
I just, I don't, I just can't, I just cannot handle the word suicide, and I can't. I don't even know how to talk about it because I just will break up and cry, and I'm just heartbroken over it.
Yeah,
I don't deal with it.
my friend Tabby had somebody kill himself in her closet last December, and I try not to beg her to kill me. I beg these people to kill me because I can't see any of my loved ones. And if they loved me as much as I love them, they would have helped me to defend me against these predators. The cops refused to take a report from anyone, ma'am.
Right.
So many people, I got screenshots of our messages with them because they tried to make the police take a report. They were given every excuse. Every excuse. Some of them were told that they couldn't because they had to take care of their own court stuff. Some of them were told it was out of jurisdiction. Some of them were told that I have to go in. I went in repeatedly and they refused. They even assaulted me to prevent me from doing so. The Secret Service even got involved, ma'am. When I lit that fire at Ken and Leah's, I lit the road on fire next to their pickup truck. And I made sure that it was on the side that was away from the house because I was afraid that if it lit the tires on fire and they got hot and popped, I didn't want burning tire flying into their house. But I couldn't just pick a house at random. I had to, I kind of came up with that plan on the fly. I was going to Macintosh Dairy where Natalie was found, and my phone died, so I couldn't end it all. So I decided to try to force the police to take a look, and I decided I was gonna get a gas can, and I was gonna go light Ken and Leah's truck on fire, and then I was gonna drive to Nebraska so that I had to go through multiple jurisdictions, and that way, when the FBI went to investigate it, they would have to investigate it in both of the places where the police refused to take my report, both before and after Natalie was killed. It still didn't work. They still didn't look at that evidence. They didn't look at any of it. They let Officer Brian Valenzuela walk out of there with the whole backpack full of evidence, and there's so much missing. They stole so many things from me. Those officers deserve prison.
You sure do.
I don't understand why people would do that to another human being. I don't.
All these cops, it's all about control and power, and they don't give a shit who anybody is.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
In the state of Colorado, they shut down the mental hospitals for anybody who's not in the criminal justice system. Everybody who they try to frame up because the police are assaulting the shit out of people as a protocol now. And those people have to be called crazy to justify it. It was so bad I had to ask my own predators for help. Lana and Amanda and my dad and Candace. Candace has got a good heart, but she's got a real problem with honesty. She doesn't want to admit decisions that she made. She wants to blame them on others. So I don't know. Maybe Officer Michael Beard did the things that she said he did, and maybe he didn't. But with the way that it all played out, I believe she was telling the truth about that. But I don't know because it's Candace.
Yeah.
It wasn't the first time she had done that. I was actually, right after Natalie rescued me, Natalie let me know that if said I was the only thing holding her together. So when I let her know that I was leaving with Candace to go to Nebraska, she didn't want me to go, but she understood. And I promised her I'd only be gone 2 weeks maximum. I just needed to heal up. And yeah, I was there longer than 2 weeks. I didn't keep my word to Miss Natalie, and she went to Virginia. And me and her sister and Maddie all planned a trip to go to Virginia, and Maddie couldn't go because she was on probation for meth. I wasn't able to take those screenshots until I was in Montana this year. I wasn't able to get the evidence that Lana and Amanda stole until I got to Montana this year. It was almost a year after they stole that evidence. There was no reason for them to do that.
Excuse me.
But then again, Lana's a very controlling person. She's very vindictive. She's always been that way. She was my weed dealer in Chapel, Nebraska. She used to withhold my stash from me after I'd already paid for it, because she needed stuff done, and she'd hold on to my weed until I did whatever it was that she wanted.
Wow.
I smoke weed for social anxiety, so if I'm not having a social issue, then marijuana doesn't help at all. With her withholding my stash to try to get me to do things that all she needed to do was ask. She didn't have to steal from me to do it.
Right.
Now I'm constantly stuck in public, and marijuana would help, but I'm in a state where marijuana is illegal.
Yeah, isn't that the shits?
Yes, ma'am. If I wasn't stuck in public, I wouldn't need marijuanas. I wouldn't need anything. If I could just crawl off in the woods. I work about 1/10 the pace that somebody would be willing to pay for now. I could build myself a house, it would just take longer. Most of these
Well,
people.
go ahead.
Go ahead, Miss Kristy.
No, I don't even know what I was going to say. Oh, dingy, I think.
Me too.
I'm just getting dingy and rummy in the head or something. I don't know.
I've been tired all night. I'm like this every night, 'cause it's the time that I'm alone. That's the worst time. I'm either alone or I'm being snapped at most of the places I go. Shannon only snapped at me twice, and I was there for 6 weeks. She snapped at everybody else, but she didn't snap at me. It's 'cause I'm different in person.
You need a cat.
I need a dog.
Or a dog.
My very first pet was a cat named Smokey, and he loved me. He didn't love anybody else. And I had a cat named Princess Tiger Lily. I got her from Lana and Amanda when I was living in Chapel, Nebraska. They lived in the house that I later moved into. And Princess Tiger Lily was part bobcat. She had a tail that stuck straight up in the air, but it was only an inch tall.
Oh,
Yeah, she was a tiger striped tabby. She was beautiful, and she hated everyone but me, too.
wow.
Rihanna, she was the one I was trying to get her to take Miss Shelley in when she pocket dialed me while I was at Candace's. Her husband's dog growled at him. Her husband's dog loves me so much. And I just met the dog like a month and a half ago. His own dog growled at him, that's how mean he was. That's how much hate he holds inside. I don't actually hate any of these people. I hate how they treated me. And I hate how they treated Natalie. It's not your fault, though.
No, it's not. But I need to get you some help. Wow. Trying to think. I have a nurse friend in Cheyenne. I think she's in Cheyenne. Her name is Bonnie. I wonder if she might be able to come up with some help. She's got a huge heart, that girl. Should I have her call you if I can get her number? I think I'm friends with her on Facebook. I don't have her phone number, but I could see if I can get it.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
just wondering if we get somebody down there that can start trying to help you get out of this situation so you can get your, I don't know, shit lined up. No, there's just gotta be somebody that knows something, and I'm private about other people's business. I don't mouth off to anybody about other people's business. I consider it very sacred, and I'm not, you know what I mean? I don't ever give anybody's number. I don't ever do anything without ever asking permission.
I used to do
All of
that.
that.
I used to be the guy people went to because they knew I wasn't going to tell their secrets. I was going to show up. I was going to rescue them. And it didn't go any further than that. It stayed in my
Yeah.
lips, sealed. But it got to the point before Natalie died that I realized I couldn't do that anymore. There's just too many predators.
I just know that there's out there. I just don't know the right connections, and I'm trying to rack my brain who think I could get a hold of, introduce you, and see, pick their brain. What do they know? You know, they. I mean, being homeless, being penniless, no money, probably have no food. I mean, if all that isn't bad enough on top of all this other cruelty and abuse, literally, just tons of it. You know what I mean? It just makes the whole situation so much worse. So I don't know. In my mind, the way I think, I'm like, okay, you got to start somewhere. You got to start at the bottom on the foundation and work yourself up. So, all right,
Yeah, I've
what
pretty well been.
what do we need to do to take a couple steps forward? What do we need to do?
I need a safe place to go where I don't have to be worried that the cops are going to be hunting me for being homeless. The people at the Starbucks I'm
Right.
parked at right now, they said the cops have been getting worse about that. There's a lot of cops that go in and out of that coffee shop. There's a lot of lawyers too. And I want to talk to them, but then there's the fact that they're customers, and I don't want to offend the managers or anybody who works there or give them any excuse to kick me out. They won't
Right.
necessarily. I mean, they're all pretty decent folks, just from what I can see anyway.
Um, I was reading this story about a doctor. Her name is Grace Gosar. She used to live here in Buffalo, and I used to go to her as a doctor. Well, she ended up getting cancer, and long story short, I read this story about a month ago that her and her two brothers opened up a clinic in Laramie, and people can go in there for free. I think it's free medical care, though, and I know that's not necessarily what you need. But I wonder if they would have any ideas, or places, but they're in Laramie. But I think I might be able to get their phone number and at least see what they'd have for advice, or I don't know. I'd be ready to start picking people's brains. Right now my voice is so scratchy and dry, it's hard for me to talk very much, but
That's
it'll
alright.
get better.
You're
I
putting
have
me
that
at
tube
ease.
down my throat for a long time. It messed me up.
I talk to my friend Miss Peaches sometimes before bed, especially when I'm having a severe panic attack, and she helps me to calm down and get to sleep. She helped me with that last night. I told her to call me on her lunch break because I probably wouldn't be able to get to sleep, but she had calmed me down enough that I went to sleep, and her phone call actually woke me up. And then she felt bad because she woke me up, and these are good people.
And
These are good people. Like I say,
I know lots of good people, and I'm just trying to just think what
like
steps can I do to get my
you
my
know
friend
how
Sean some help.
right before I was just about to go up there, how you ended up having heart issues, and I was paranoid that
Yes,
you had those because you were trying to make a place ready for me. You know how
yeah,
that was last minute. There were a lot of last minute things like that happened at a lot of places where they'd open up the tunnel and they'd say, all right, if you run that 100-yard dash, there's a light at the end of it. And I get to the end of it and the door would close.
uh, yeah. Well, and I had like twinges and pains, and you know nothing major. And I didn't even want to go in about it. Well, then I got this, and it really scared me. This big pain, and I'm like, oh, this is it. Well, they did that. Um, some they inject dye in you, and they look at
A stress test.
what you have for blockages and all that stuff. And
Yeah, I had to do that When I was supposed to go see Natalie and Alicia and Maddie in Boulder while I was staying at Candace's. This is before Natalie went to Virginia.
Ouch.
I was going in for a stress test over heart issues. My heart is really strong though. Like, even though I smoke, I have the heart of an athlete. And they did a stress test and they put radioactive dye in me and had me walk on a treadmill, and then they put me in a CAT scan. And they checked me for blockages, just like you were saying. That was at the hospital in Julesburg. I need to get my medical records from there, and medical records from Haxton, Colorado, and from Longmont. They forced me into an extreme situation, and then the fact that they wouldn't look at the evidence. Basically, the doctors just do whatever the cops tell them to. Why wouldn't they trust the cops, right?
Right.
I'm sorry, your voice is calming me down, so I'm barely awake.
Okay. I'm sorry, my voice is really crackly, but...
That's okay. I woke up with a tube in my throat once. Actually,
it's really hard to cough and get that crap. I ended up getting a little bit of pneumonia in my lungs.
That sucks. I was able to help a man fill out a job application yesterday. That was good.
You did?
I did. I didn't even know how to make the job applications, but between the two of us, we kind of fumbled through it and made it to the end.
Wonderful.
Yes, ma'am.
Gosh, that makes me proud of you. Doing what kind of work, John?
I'm sorry, I just dozed off there for a minute.
Oh, well, maybe we better hang up and both of us go to sleep then.
Yes, ma'am.
So I think okay.
Thank you, Kristy.
Well,
be
I
safe.
will. You're welcome, Sean. I'm giving you a hug over the phone, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Be safe. Okay. Good night, Miss Kristy.
Okay, good night, Sean. Bye.
Bye.